Hello and welcome back to the final game here at the Cardiff Archers Arena for this 2025 Under-17s Four Nation tournament. It's the tournament of the boys for one last time. We have the England boys versus the Wales boys. Coach Lewis Scott just having a quick time out before the game's even started, before the boys exchange their pin badges to start the game. We'll quickly run you through the starting lineups. For Wales, we have Dylan Lloyd, Oliver Irvine, Kean Bowen, Miller Longhurst and Lucas Shellard. And for the England team, Tristan Curran, Daniel Banjoho, Oroje, Heinrich Roberts and Udowu starting for England. Good sportsmanship as always throughout this whole weekend. One last time from the Wales and England boys, as we are about to get ready for this tip off. Referee sporting their lovely yellow jerseys this time, as we're into the final minute of the countdown till tip off. Wales v England, the last game of this tournament. On the other court, we will have Wales versus England on the girls' side. Very interested to see how that one goes. As we said before, England looking to go undefeated this weekend. Wales still looking for their first win of this competition and looking for a strong performance. I'm joined again by Donnie McDonald. Thank you very much for joining me again. Any thoughts heading into this game for both England and Wales boys?
No, I think England have got a lot of athleticism. They showed that yesterday against Scotland and Ireland. Two strong performances where they really pulled away in the second half. I watched Wales against Scotland yesterday, and I saw a really competitive first half where they hung around. Just probably the depth might be the difference here for England. I think Wales have got really solid starting five. England just got that ability to rotate a little bit deeper into their bench and maintain their level, but it should be a good contest.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned, the strong starting five for Wales. Definitely Miller Longhurst, their talisman, initiates the offense, got some good size, can play a lot of good defense as well, passing ability, scoring ability. Definitely be looking for him to have a quick start against this England team, but they are no pushover, as you can see them coming out onto the floor. Good size, strength and speed, you can tell from this team already.
But the player that was really impressive for me yesterday was number 8, Tristan Curran. Really dictated the play for England, got them where they needed to be. You know, good use of his body for scoring himself and for creating for others. So it'll be interesting to see if Wales are able to cause Tristan some problems, because that could then make it more difficult for England to get into their actions.
Absolutely, Tristan Curran coming from a long line of basketball family. His older brother, Oscar Curran, is at Loughborough through that childhood pathway. He's going through that childhood pathway himself with the Leicester Riders. And his oldest brother, Ben Curran, one of my teammates at University of Worcester. Here we go, lots of crowd noise all ready to start off this competition. Let's get ready for the tip-off between Shallard and Baidowu. Lucas Shallard gets the better of the jump ball. First session goes to Wales. Miller Longhurst to Irvine. Looking for Bowen at the top. Shallard, weak side wing. Can't quite find Bowen. Tipped away by Roberts. England possession.
What we see here with Wales, maybe not so normal for them, is they seem to have the size advantage at every position in this starting lineup. So it'll be interesting to see if they can use that early on to try and cause England some problems.
Absolutely. Roberts catches high post. Back out to that Curran. Dowu screen rejected by Curran. Drives through the lane. Right hand finish is up and out. Longhurst comes away with a rebound. Here come Wales. Longhurst in transition, ball tipped away, and Wales will keep possession baseline out of bounds.
Yeah, strong move by Curran there, getting to the basket. Unlucky with the finish, but nice to see Wales getting the rebound and getting out for a transition look.
Here we go. Looking for Irvine to come around at the top, catches the ball. Bowen. Lloyd on the right side wing, screen. Lucas Shellard. Got Curran, got the size mismatch. Lots of contact, nothing called by the referee. Dowu comes all the way with the rebound. Good size and strength shown already in this under-17s competition. Bolam and Shellard battling out with Dowu on that rebound.
Yeah, I think the three-point shot was open there. Maybe the better look than attacking, because the defense was waiting for him in the key when he got there.
Here's Curran. Curran for three, back iron, and he gets his own rebound. The drive by England is stopped by Wales.
England doing I should say Wales doing a really good job of closing out the key and taking away any layup opportunities using their length.
Yeah. Roger trying to get into the rim already, can't quite get it to go. And here we have Bandoko. Roger can't get that one to go either. Here's Longhurst coming away with it, lots of contact, no whistle. To Lloyd, left side wing, jab steps to the middle, drives baseline, spins. Longhurst outside shot, front iron. Lloyd comes away with the rebound. Longhurst trying to run an offense, gets it back to Lloyd. He's a big scoring threat from inside and outside and nails the three. Dylan Lloyd gets the scoring going. Wales take the 3-point lead.
A good offense there for Wales, making advantage of the inside-out play. Lloyd using the jab step to create the space and shot the three with confidence.
The referees just sorting out the correct time on the shot clock. We will have an England ball with out of bounds. Roger to inbound. Here's Curran. Top ball screen, Dowu. Curran goes all the way, left hand finish at the basket.
The body control is really impressive there from Curran. Getting to his left hand, nice finish at the rim.
Absolutely, as Longhurst coming in the paint, travel is going to be called. Super impressive from Curran. You can see he's not afraid, and that's what you get with playing with older brothers that have played basketball at a high level as well.
He plays at a nice pace. He's always under control, reading the defense, and just generally makes the right decision. Also a strong body, able to absorb contact effectively.
Here he is again, coming in through the Wales paint. Finds shooter on the weak side, can't quite get it to go. Roberts offensive rebound. Foul on the play. Daniel Bandoko can't quite get the three-pointer to go.
It's a good look by Bandoko. He's wide open, the shot's inside the rim. You've got to take confidence with that shot. It's going to go in half the time, but you just got to keep playing with confidence there.
Absolutely, Bandoko Daniel Bandoko and David Bandoko both in this England team. Daniel getting the start for this Wales game, both at Cola, what a good program that is, and both GB under-16 internationals last summer.
Well, what really stood out for England yesterday was the offensive rebounding ability. So Wales did a good job of that in the first couple of minutes, but on that last play there, you saw the three goes up and England getting the second chance opportunity from the free throw line.
Absolutely. Here's Lloyd on the right side wing, defended by Curran. Shellard, ball screen. Finds Shellard again. Here's Bolam, can't quite catch the ball. Roger to the rim, 2 points. And just like that, England are back in the lead.
He did that yesterday against Scotland a lot. His ability to get downhill in transition is really hard to stop.
Great deflection there by Bandoko.
You talked there about the Bandoko brothers coming through the Cola program. Really impressive what's happened down there in Cola. Coach Jackson Gibbons and his staff down there. A new academy that has risen. They play basketball a great way. They develop people really well. So, a lot of credit to the Cola program for what they've done over recent years.
Tough shot by Irvine, forced by the buzzer. Can't quite get it to go. Coach Sterling, Massachusetts, barking instructions to his team from the sideline. What defense will we see from these Wales boys now? Some man-to-man full court pressure. Irvine guarding Tristan Curran. Mandoko to Roger, drives baseline. Tries by Odowu, tied up. Jump ball will go in favour of the Wales boys.
What's really interesting here is Wales playing fairly conservative defence, you know, taking away opportunities around the rim, being prepared to give up the three a little bit more. But England have got a lot of strong driving players, so it's a solid tactic from Coach Sterling. The challenge will be if England start making shots. That's going to be the key thing to watch how this game develops.
Absolutely. Pressure defence from England. We see Kasaro Malpas in the game for the first time for Wales. Guided by Bobrovsky. First time we've seen him as well. Irvine at the top. Side ball screen. That's exactly his shot and exactly what he can do. Oliver Irvine, 3 points for Wales.
Oliver Irvine there in that possession just looked like a really competent guard. You know, he's got a good size. Brought the ball up, got them into the offense, and when the shot came his way, he took it with confidence. Looks like a really solid player for Wales.
Absolutely, brilliant steal there by Shellard, trying to find Kasaro Malpas. Trying to gather the ball, Wales just can't quite get it under control. Loose ball situation, bodies on the floor, jump ball called.
And Wales have started this game with great energy. You know, when they get out in transition, they're looking to pass ahead, they're sprinting ahead of the ball. So much so that England want to talk it over.
Absolutely. Coach Lewis Scott there calling time out. And in this Wales, you have to be happy with how they started this game, making it not so easy for these England boys on defense, even with their size and athleticism. And on offense, nailing a couple threes to bring them up to 6 points to start this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's an obvious tactic. Wales are clearly wanting to protect the paint. I think the strength of England is their driving ability and getting to the rim. So if you can take that away and force them to shoot from the outside and then see where we go. The big challenge there for Wales becomes containing the rebounds. You know, if England are taking shots and not making them just now, but they're getting the offensive rebounds, then they become difficult to stop. So Wales have done a really, really good job in the first 4.5 minutes of this game on that sense. The challenge is for them to maintain that now through the rest of the game.
Absolutely. So more of the same for Wales if they can keep this run going. A couple 3-pointers, and that shooting is going to be super important going into this game. You obviously got players like Oliver Irvine, Dylan Lloyd, Miller Longhurst can all shoot the ball at a very high rate. And we will have an England sideline out of bounds as Qatar checks into the game for the first time today.
Very good shooter, so that could be something that Wales need to be aware of.
Sorry, apologies. Kak Makaya, number 18 with the inbound now. Kak Makaya, first time we've seen him today. Kak Makaya with the ball now, defended by Lloyd. England adding some more size into their rotation. Dowu posts up, throws the ball, not quite on the same page with Kak Makaya. Some frustration for the England team. I
think what we have to recognise is they've not had a lot of time together to prepare, so this sort of chemistry it takes time to come. This is their third game together. Obviously they'll be hoping to improve, but also a little bit of fatigue. Really hard to play 3 games over a weekend like this and perform at a high level. Often it comes down to who performs better through that fatigue, and you know that's going to be a key to this game when it comes on. Who is the fresher near the end?
Longhurst can't quite get the ball under control, goes out of bounds off an England body. Cooper subbing into the game for the first time, guarding Shellard, some extra size put into the game from England. Longhurst to inbound, looking for Lloyd to come across, nothing there. Kasaro Malpas open in the corner. Can't get it to go. Here is Cooper with the rebound. Ahead. Knocked away. Oliver Irvine with the ball now.
That's a really nice look for Wales, the wide open shot in the corner. The challenge with those shots is it's really hard to get back in transition defense if England are so fast there. But Wales did an excellent job of getting back, deflecting the ball, getting the possession back.
Yeah, just looking at the size of Kak Makaya now guarding the ball. Longhurst got some good size himself as a point guard. This is a beautiful matchup to watch. As Longhurst gets a step, double team coming. Kasaro Malpas on the right side wing. Hands off to Lloyd, open free, and doesn't quite get it to go. Bouncing off the rim, out of bounds. Wales ball.
Again, another good shot. And Wales running the handoff action on the wing. England going under. A good decision to take the shot.
So you see David Bandoko into the game for the first time, joining his brother onto the court. Tristan Curran getting a rake. Look how tall this England lineup is now. Starting slightly smaller. Lloyd coming over, open free for him again. And he can't convert.
Well, you talk about the size of Wales, of England, but Wales are matching up with them pretty well on that side. So it's not such an advantage for England as you might have thought.
Bandoko, guarded by Irvine, pick and roll at the top. Comes through the lane, lots of bodies everywhere. Tough finish, can't get it to go. Shellard with the rebound. Here come Wales. Lloyd, transition, lots of contact. Will go to the line. Dylan Lloyd, crafty play again to the rim.
Yeah, good use of the footwork to open up the left-hand shot, draw the contact, and go to the free throw line here.
Here is Kanate, size shrunk from Wales. Longhurst takes the break, but with his tenacity and his defense, Kanate definitely has a strong place in this game.
And I spoke about it earlier, Wales are playing with a great energy, and that pace is the thing that's going to help them here. They've just added speed to the floor. Absolutely,
and Dylan Lloyd at the line now. Definitely a better start from him than we saw yesterday, who actually led scoring in the under-16s tournament last year. Last time out, Dylan Lloyd.
It's been a nice start to this game. Both teams feeling each other out, different styles of play.
Yeah, Cooper at the top. Tight contest from Shellard. Rebound is up. Falls into the hands of David Bandoko. 2 points.
And this is modern basketball. We talked about, I was watching a lot of Eurobasket women this week, and the number of times you've got the 5 position popping and shooting the 3, and then the guard getting the offensive rebound. This is the way basketball is going.
Awesome display by the England guys. As Lloyd again scores, but knocked away by Kanate, and here is Bandoko.
Yeah, unlucky for Wales there. The deflection just fell to an English hand, and then they're in a position to get the open dunk.
Kanate inside against the tall trees. Can't get it to go. Here's Boskowski. Defended by Shellard. Can't get it to go again. Rebound is loose. Cooper comes away with it. Kakmakaya. Bandoko. Pump fake. Pull up. Extra pass to his brother in the corner. Contested setback. Falling away free. Cooper falls to the floor with the ball. Kakmakaya asking for a handoff. Bobrowski, defended by Kanate. Ball screen by Cooper. Pick and roll, finds Cooper. Beautiful finish with 1 second left on the shot clock. Sterling wants to talk it up with his team. Longhurst looks to check back in. And
Curran stepped out, who was controlling the game earlier on. Now Bobkowski stepped in and first of all puts pace on the ball to get a look at the rim, but then a beautiful pick and roll where he's managed the tempo nicely and found an excellent bounce pass to the roller for the score inside.
Something we've noticed in these timeouts over this weekend is coaches having that time to discuss together and players having the opportunity to talk, and that's the case with this England and also with the Scotland boys as well. However, Sterling, different approach. Coach Sterling Makachets for the under-17s Wales boys, straight in there delivering instructions. It's very interesting seeing different coaching styles.
I think it's easier to take time when the other coach has called the timeout, right? You're not expecting the timeout coming. Coach Sterling's obviously knows what he wants to say. That's why he's called the timeout, so he's very clear in what he's saying. An experienced coach, obviously assistant with the GB under-16 men last year. I got to know him quite a bit during the prep alongside Dan Petts. The GB under-16 women and under-16 men had shared training camps down at the University of Essex through last summer. Nice experience for me with the women's staff to have a chance to have discussions with the men's staff and sharing ideas. And I think that's one of the great things about these events. We're really building a British basketball community. The coaches have interacted in different spaces before, whether it be club spaces, academy spaces, and the home nations teams building into GB teams. So great part of this event is the building of the basketball community. We've seen it with the referees having their seminars here and going out for dinner and talking about things, coaches getting together and talking about different elements that they're working on. So whilst it should always be about the players first, and it has been about the players first, I think we can't underestimate the power of these tournaments in building community within British basketball.
Absolutely. And as you say about players, first time we're getting a look at Jamal McAllister. First time we've seen him, the Sussex Storm under-18 and Final Four MVP from only a few months ago.
Yeah, he had a really solid game against Scotland yesterday. You know, him and Bobkowski can really add pace to the ball, but also play under control a lot. Read the defense, find the gaps, make good decisions.
McAllister hands up to Vandoko, now it's Bobkowski on top. Ball screen, spins through the lane, Bobkowski. Shellard comes over the rebound.
Really nice body control, but Shellard's ability to contest with length and not foul was really important there for Wales.
Here's Lloyd. Can he add to his total? Lots of contact, foul. He will go to the line. Dylan Lloyd, massive vocal point of the Wales offense.
Yeah, and he did a good job of using a slow step to get the defender off his feet and going into the chest. Really tough there for Cooper. He went straight up, but as Lloyd hits him in the chest, the arms come down, and that's when the refs have to call the foul.
And look at this substitution here. Kanate going off for Bolam. Massive size swap there. Interesting from Sterling Massachusetts.
Now, what's been really interesting is that as England went bigger, Wales went smaller. And now England have gone a little bit smaller, so Wales have gone bigger. So I think that may be a part of the game plan for Sterling to try and find some advantage there and keep the England coaching staff on their toes.
Absolutely, as Dylan Lloyd knocks down his second free throw. Here's Bobkowski coming the other way. Guarded by Shellard, baseline drive. Hook pass, Kamakaya, extra pass to McAllister, spinning. Jamal McAllister can't get it up and to go. Cooper, hands in there. Bobkowski, corner three, can't get it to go. Here is Miller, Longhurst. Bodies all around him, can't quite controlling the ball. Bobkowski finds Cooper. Cooper throws it away. Story Malpass. Behind the back, losing the ball as well. Bolam, extra pass. Shellard, can he find Lloyd? He does. Lloyd up with the three and can't get it to go front rim. Nice
extra pass there, opening up the shot for Lloyd. Unlucky not to make it. It's really interesting here. England like to score at the rim, but Wales' length in and around the paint is causing them some problems right now.
Vandoko behind the back move in the middle, can't get it to go. The Story Malpass decides to slow. Here's Shellard. Looking for Bolam. Bolam low post catch, up strong, and can't get it to go. Cooper, good defense. Bobkowski the other way. Middle ball screen. Gets all the way to the rim. Blocked away by Shellard doing a late whistle. A patient whistle, as we said from the last game.
Patient whistle is the correct terminology, I think, from our referee and call. And I think it's probably right, a lot of contact there. But, you know, consistently at both ends, we're seeing contests at the rim. So there's no easy scores. This is really making for an interesting contest here early in the game.
The home Welsh crowd not enjoying that call, letting the referees know about it slightly, as we see Tiong come into the game for the first time today, as well as Qatar.
You used the word late whistle. That's often what supporters say, but it's been a real progression for FIBA refereeing around, you know, taking your time with your whistle. Don't be in a hurry. Don't anticipate what's happening, you know, and it's better to have a correct call than an early call. So, you know, it's one of those things as coaches, as fans of the game, it takes a little bit of time to get used to because it feels like it's a little bit late, but I suppose it's a little bit like VAR and IRS coming into the game. These little changes are designed to improve the calls and make sure that the referees are getting it right more than they get it wrong. And I definitely think that once you get used to it, it's an improvement to the game.
Bolam takes a tumble out of bounds, holding his head, hope he is okay. William Morgan's going to check into the game for the first time. Shellard gets a rest to finish out this first quarter. Less than 30 seconds on the clock. 1 point game still. Donnie, any thoughts on the score?
Yeah, no, ultimately, neither team's really got going from the perimeter yet. Everyone's looking to try and get to the rim, and when they do get to the rim, it's contested, so there's no easy buckets. From a defensive game plan perspective, I think both teams will be fairly happy with how they've taken that away. At this point in time, it looks like it's going to come down to who starts making those perimeter shots at a more consistent rate.
Based on our bounce for England, McAllister has it, guarded by Longhurst. Gets to step on him all the way to the rim, can't get it to go. Qatar offensive rebound. Bobkowski re-drive, lots of contact, and the referees blow the whistle for the and one for Bobkowski.
I think that's right. The continuation, Walkowski did a good job of selling the contact and making sure that the referees knew that there was contact. But I think no doubt he got hit on that drive.
And
here we go on the replay. Yeah, he's definitely gone in with the hands. Anytime you put your hands on the player, the referees have to call a foul. Body contact, not so much, but with the hands, there's no question.
Absolutely. Miller Longhurst checking back out of the game. First time we see Majetski Zelik into the game for Wales. Converted on the three-point play. One last offense for the Wales boys. Shot clock is off. Here's Oliver Irvine, finds Ayolo in the corner. Here's Lloyd, the danger man for Wales. Travel is called.
Yeah, once again, we've seen that travel call a lot. Something that's allowed in the American game, you know, the onside step off the fake. But at the FIBA level, that's pretty much the most common travel you see in basketball these days. And you know, the refs have been calling that tight all tournament with a view to the summer FIBA tournaments coming up. So we've seen that call a lot this weekend.
There's Tiong on the basket and 2 points for England.
England will be really happy with closing out the quarter with a great score like that. The drive draws the help, and then the lob pass over the top for an easy finish at the rim. And yeah, England are just starting to pull away. This is kind of the pattern we saw from England yesterday, both against Ireland first and then against Scotland. You know, the game's close early on. They feel their way out. They try and find the advantages. We see on the Curran getting to the rim there. But in the second half, England have usually been able to use their depth of athleticism more and pull away. The challenge for Wales is to try and stay connected here through the second quarter, I think. We see them making the three-point shots. That could be key for them here going later in the game.
Yeah, starting the game off strong with 2 3-pointers, and that could be a vocal point of their offense coming back into the game as we see the dunk thrown down by Vandoko. And yeah, England have looked very impressive, but yeah, slow to start. And Curran, can he come back into the game perhaps and be the talisman for England to push away this Wales team?
Yeah, what's going to be interesting, we talked about it in the game before Scotland against Ireland women, in that the coaching adjustments changed the game and we saw different runs. So we've got 2 experienced coaches here. We'll be interested to see how they adjust as the game goes on. What are Wales going to do now to try and close that gap? They started off really solid, taking away interior opportunities. England just towards the end there found a way of getting to the free throw line a little bit more. You said it there, Wales made a couple of 3-pointers early on. England struggling a little bit from the 3-point line. I think this could be the key to the game, I think, going forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see both coaches drawing up structure for their offenses. Be interesting to see what that translates to on the floor. Coach Lewis Scott and Coach Sterling Massachusetts, very experienced coaches at a high level.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see if they can play with structure. Both of these teams seem to be at their best when they're playing outside of structure, when they're playing in the transition game or the secondary break type game. So it will be interesting to see if they slow it down and try and play a bit more structured offense.
Absolutely, I'm being very impressed with Jakub Bobkowski from the Newcastle Eagles, number 7 for England. He's looked very strong at handling the ball as a guard.
Yeah, and his change of pace has been great. You know, he's able to put pace on the ball to get over the half quickly, which is what you want. And then when it slows down, he uses change of pace, he uses his retreats really well and reads the game nicely.
Here's Longhurst back into the game for Wales. Good size for a point guard. Irvine under the pressure from McAllister. Can he find Lloyd? He can't. Ball is knocked away. And here comes Tiong. Tiong throws it up and is put back in by Brooker.
Yeah, credit McAllister there. Aggressive defense creating the transition opportunity.
Vandoko, sorry, scoring the ball in the other end. Here is Lloyd open for 3. Back iron is up and it's out off the back iron.
It's a good look at the rim. Okay, it's critical that Wales stay with it. Recognise it's a good decision to take the shot. Don't get too caught up in the outcome. The process is there. The right shot to take in the right moment of the offense.
Bobkowski guarded by Irvine. Vandoko on the weak side. Bobkowski, McAllister in the corner. Baseline drive floater is up and in. Beautiful move.
Excellent. You know, Bobkowski collapsing the defense, kicking out. Nice fake from McAllister, and now it's a nice soft finish at the rim.
Ball is off and out. off Irvine's foot. And Max Merchant checking into the game for the first time for Wales, the under-15 and under-17 international for Wales.
Busy summer for him.
Absolutely, All-Star 5 in the under-15s tournament, representing his country, gets the call up for the under-17s. Now he's guarding Jamal McAllister.
And this is a great test for the young man, you know, coming in there, playing against older players. You know, you've made an All-Star 5 at a younger age group, but now for Marchant to step up, okay, let's see what you can do against these bigger, stronger bodies.
Great offensive rebound there by Shellard. Can't get the putback to go, but is fouled.
Yeah, good offensive rebound, as you say. Found his balance, went straight back up and drew the contact.
Coach Lewis Scott calling over one of his players to draw something up during these free throw times. Being able to take in information in intense moments is incredibly important for a basketball player.
And we have to recognize that these games are for young players, are about getting better as players. We get caught up in the results sometimes, who wins, who loses. But what's more important in youth basketball is how they improve as players. So it's great to see both coaches bringing their players in and actually trying to teach them the game. You know, these tournaments are much more about that. Can we improve this game on next game? Can we add something new in? What is the learning that comes out of the weekend is probably going to be more important to the coaches than whether they get a medal or not.
Absolutely, and you can see the matchup here. McAllister guarded by the young Merchant. Bobkowski fakes the handoff, baseline drive. Trying to find Badoko in the corner, can't get it there. Longhurst is deflecting the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, good deflection. Been really impressed with Bobkowski early in this game. You know, he's reading the defense and change of pace and use of the dribble has been really strong.
Here he is, inbounding the ball. And there is Miller Longhurst with the steal. Maybe
too much praise too soon, but I'm sure that's just a one-off.
Absolutely. The old commentator's curse, here we go. Tristan Curran checking back into the game. Very strong guard lineup here. McAllister, Curran, Bobkowski.
Yeah, they just don't really get that much weaker when they rotate through their guards, and that's where we've seen them in the last two games pull away in the second half. They're able to keep everyone fresh, and particularly at the point guard position. It's all about decision making, reading the situation, and fatigue can really impact on that. So allowing your guards to play somewhere in the 20 to 22 minute mark makes a big difference over having to play 30+ minutes.
And here comes England the other way. 2 points for Qatar.
Good defense there from England.
Wales starting to struggle now in the second quarter.
You know,
struggling to find a way to score. Finding it hard to stop. England doing what they want.
Well, Banjoko there with the active hands to get the deflection. It's come off a Wales player and earned another possession for his team. So, you know, from Banjoko's perspective, that's not showing up on the stat sheet, but ultimately it's the same as a steal.
His team getting the ball deflected out of bounds by Merchant again. Baseline out of bounds will stay with England. Shellard is ahead. Chased back by Curran. Shellard goes to take off, lays the ball in just over the rim.
Again, long threes, long rebounds lead to good fast break opportunities, and Wales are capitalising there.
Irvine with a steal. Here's Lloyd. Here come Wales. Shellard. Irvine decides not to shoot. Goes into traffic. Qatar. Contact. Finish. Up and out.
The effort there from the Welsh team to all get back under the ball and contest the shots really exemplary. You know, really you can see Shellard there with his hands on his knees. He really gave everything to get back and contest that shot, and now his team's got the ball back.
Absolutely, running rim to rim on offense and defense, making plays, scoring, getting strong rebounds, and now drawing a foul. Wales will have the ball with Lloyd. Defended by Qatar. Lloyd picks it, dribble up.
England making them play really high up just now, extending the defense.
Can't get it to go. Curran comes away now, the other way.
Nice pass ahead.
Badoko to Qatar in the corner, makes the free.
And I think that all starts with the Curran having the confidence to pass ahead. Defense has got to collapse in, opens up the corner three.
Absolutely, passing ahead from Curran, setting that offense up. Lloyd for a really nice move, gets past his defender, up and out, unfortunately. Rudoko for Brokowski, poked away by Irvine. Brokowski and frustrated, subs are coming in.
Yeah, England really picking the tempo up here. It's an important moment for Wales to weather this storm and try and hang around. England just extending the lead out here at the beginning of the second quarter.
Roger coming back into the game from Sledgehill Basketball Academy and London Thunder, and now England. Merchant taking a break for the young lad. Ciro Malpass back into the game for Wales. Full court pressure coming from England. Lloyd with the ball. Defended by Curran. Good matchup. Ciro Malpass here. Thrown at the big man's feet. Bolan in trouble in the corner. Lloyd drives, lots of contact, nothing. Finds Shellard. Ciro Malpass, weak side three, turns it down. 3 on the clock. They've got to go up. And they travel with lots of contact and the made basket, but Shellard nods his head in agreement with the referee's decision.
It's tough. It's so late in the clock. It's going to be a turnover anyway. The defense does a good job of keeping him behind the backboard. So yeah, he's doing all he can to try and get a shot off that late in the clock. Maybe Wales should have looked at taking the 3 a little bit earlier in the possession, but England doing a good job of scramble defense, taking away time and space.
Roberts checks back into this game. I couldn't agree more. Turning down 1 or 2 open threes early in the shot clock, leading to a turnover. As we see Curran drawing the foul off Ciro Malpass.
Yeah, Ciro Malpass with good contact in the backcourt, putting pressure on Curran. On the second effort, they'll just put the hands in. Again, body contact's fine, but need to keep those hands out.
Roger, London Thunderman, to inbound the ball to Curran of the Charnwood Riders. Qatar in the corner, drives, defenders everywhere, finds Roberts on the weak side for the free, and he knocks it down. Timeout is called by Wales.
And that's now the second 3 for England in this period. We talked about it earlier in the game, how Wales doing a really good job of stopping England getting to the rim, but how were they going to contest the 3, and if England started making them, were we going to see some changes from Wales? So we might be here seeing Coach Sterling making some adjustments to the game plan here. What's really nice with these players, you've mentioned it before, we talked about the brothers coming through from Cola, Curran with the Charnwood Academy. At this age group, the under-17s, we're really starting to see these academy programs impacting on the players' ability to make adjustments in games and to take on board coaching in the timeouts, and this is an important part of basketball. We have to be able to change as the game goes on. Everyone's got a game plan. One game plan works a little bit. Coach makes an adjustment, brings the other team back into the play. Now it's the turn of Wales to try and find an adjustment to take away the outside shooting as well as the interior presence of England.
Absolutely, and as you were saying, the strong academy system in England. Leon Hendrick Roberts, MVP for the Dynamic Schools under 19 competition in March, beating JMA, MVP for Myerscough, and Lewis Scott is obviously in Myerscough himself, the head coach for the under-17 England boys. As we will have it, Wales baseline out of bounds, scoreboard just falling away from Wales in this second quarter.
Yeah, what I would say though is you look at the English team, they just look a little bit fresher. Obviously, it's just the 3rd game. The depth that England have, obviously it's a much bigger nation than Wales, more people playing the game. Wales started really strongly. They probably have to stay with their starting 5 a little bit longer than England do. England keep everyone fresh, which over the course of the weekend makes a big difference.
Yeah, we saw a zone presser by England out of the timeout, and perhaps something Coach Lewis Scott drew up. As we find Longhurst in the corner, 3 on the clock. Does he know? He does know, and he gets the basket as the buzzer sounds.
Yeah, good job getting back to the inside hand to finish over the defense there at the end of the shot clock.
Qatar finds Roberts, the MVP of the Dynamic Schools. Qatar drives, drops it off to Roberts. 2 more points for him.
Played at a nice pace there, drew the defense in, and then we get the steal and breakaway.
There is Roberts, 3-pointer just before the timeout, and 2 quick layups for him. Yeah, 7 quick points.
This is a tough moment for Wales now, mentally as much as anything. England really starting to put the pressure on. Can Wales weather this little storm and find a way back into the game?
Mr. Malpass with a well-needed free as he falls to the floor.
Yeah, it's the perfect response there for Wales.
Qatar crosses over. Through the lane, drops it off. Aroje, Curran, Qatar. Adowu finds Aroje, can't get it to go. Qatar, offensive rebound. Wales need to find the rebound, or that it will happen. Qatar again for 2 more points.
And if you were to speak to the Scotland and England team, sorry, Scotland and Ireland teams from yesterday, offensive rebounding for England was the story of those games. You know, particularly the Scotland game yesterday, England had 22 second chance points and won the game by 23. So we're starting to see it now. England really dominating on the offensive boards as Wales get a little bit tired. But can Wales find a way to get a body on these athletic English players and stop them getting those second opportunities?
Yeah, in the last play, just Lucas Scheller getting caught into 2 minds, double dribbling, but as he subs out for his teammate at Carmel College, Oliver Irvine. Also, Tiong from England, another Carmel College, and St Helens player, another great academy system in England.
So what England have done really nicely now in the offensive end is put their interior player right on the baseline behind the defense. They've got really good guards who can get in the paint and collapse the defense. And when the help comes, they're playing in behind the defense and opening up these little opportunities to get your big man a layup.
Bolam gets called on the moving screen as Curran falls to the floor. Just didn't quite get his feet set. Here is Roberts from Myerscough for England. Throws it away, Masiro Malpass. Nearly a backcourt violation. Lloyd Gabbers finds Irvine on the left side wing. High pressure defense from England, forcing the turnover, forcing the Wales guards back to the halfway line.
Yeah, it's really hard to contain your dribble and make a good pass against that level of pressure. And you know, England have really ramped that up in the second quarter, and you can see that the score stretching away a little bit now for Wales.
It's a Roger driving, finds Robertson in the corner, extra pass, Bandoku. Roger back with the ball, step through, left hand finishes up and out. Doe offensive rebound. Roberts inside now, lots of bodies around. Wales struggling to get a rebound again. Ball falls out of bounds. Majeski Zelik coming into the game. And as we had yesterday, referees aren't happy with players running on the floor. Did not pass the security checks at the airport. Majeski Zelik finally makes it through customs onto the floor.
Again, the referees are being assessed during these tournaments. It's a development opportunity for everyone. There's also coach development opportunities. We've had at all the tournaments, observations of coaches, observations of referees. Obviously, we talk about players being coached and trying to improve, but the great thing about these tournaments is helping everyone take those next steps in basketball. If you're a young referee wanting to take steps towards being a FIBA referee, here's your first place to do it. We've had a number of FIBA referees looking at the games, giving them feedback. But what I thought was really interesting yesterday, the FIBA referees all took the court for the game between Ireland and England, and they had the younger referees assessing their performance. So, you know, turning the tables a little bit and giving a little bit of an example to the younger players of what to expect. So, you know, similarly, some different approaches through each of the tournaments around the coach development opportunities that have been put on. So the home nations have all done a great job of recognising, yes, it's about the players, but can we develop all-round basketball? Table officials here from Scotland and England as well this weekend, getting feedback, working with different systems. So overall, these events are great for the development of British basketball.
Absolutely. Sounds great for the development of everyone involved with basketball, referees, coaches and players alike. As we have Doru, finds Roberts, finds Curran in the corner for free. Back iron. This is Doru, makes his free.
And this has been a big change in the second quarter. England starting to make those outside shots when Wales take away the interior looks. So really hard to guard a team that can kill you from the inside and the outside.
Here's Irvine open for free, knocks down another one for him. Apologies, Roger previously for England, knocking his free down as well.
Good response there from Wales. They're not letting their heads go down. England have, had the better of this second quarter, but Wales continue to work hard and contest.
Curran stops pops, can't quite get it to go. Majeksi Zella. Pressure on defense from England. Irvine controls, finds Lloyd. What can Lloyd do? Half spins, gets a step on a defender, dribbles into 3 defenders, and comes back down with the ball, nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's tough for Lloyd. Picked up his dribble, and there's a lot of length in there from England that meet him. The previous drives, Lloyd's managed to keep balance and use his body nicely. There's maybe a little bit of fatigue there.
Absolutely.
The space disappeared pretty quickly for him.
As you say that, he checks out the game for a rest. Luca Cella back into the game. There's Banjoko. Lots of contact for Daniel Banjoko.
Well, Banjoko there, amazing elevation to get up above the rim. No one's blocking that, and yeah, gets himself a trip to the free throw line.
Here's Tiong coming into the game for England, and William Morgan checking back into the game for Wales. 3 players from the Carmel College and St. Helens Saints teams representing their nations here today. Oliver Irvine, Tiong, and Cooper from England. As Banjoko can't make the first. Coach Sterling Maschetz barking out instructions to his team. Banjoko short again on the second one, but England come away with the ball. Roger. Adowu comes away. Now it is Roger. Back iron on his 3. Roberts and Adowu come for the rebound. Roberts gets it. Extra pass. Roger driving. Left-hand drive. Lots of contact. And there is a whistle. There was a foul there from Majeski Zella.
Once again, we've seen England getting the offensive rebound off the free throw, getting the offensive rebound off the 3-point shot. The way they go after the ball collectively, it's not just one guy. Collectively, the whole team has got an emphasis on rebounding the ball, and that makes it really hard for Wales to capitalise on those misses and get out and transition themselves. That's what they were doing early in the game. Wales were getting the rebounds and getting out, but now England really putting the pressure on with those offensive boards. Yeah,
and as we saw the replay there of Roger getting his step on his defender, and it's tough to play defense when you're not in front. The referees are likely to call a foul. Roger shooting the second one, can't make the second, goes 1 for 2 from the line. Bobrowski up again, blocked away by Wales. Here's Young. Adowu finds a Roger. Adowu on the screen. Bobrowski finds Roberts inside, blocked away by Miller Longhurst. Foul on the play.
Once again, offensive rebounds from England. Wales not even getting a chance to get out over the half. We see it here. They look inside for the post-up. Got really good deep position here, goes up through the contact. Obvious foul there for the referees to call.
Absolutely, Roberts has been the danger man for England. He scores points in bunches. As we see Longhurst picking up another foul, taking a trip to the bench. Lloyd coming in to see out this second quarter. As Gavin Williams very kindly will mop up the sweat of the under-17 boys players.
He's done everything this weekend, he's announcements, tournament organizer, referee assessments, now mopping up. Fair play to Gavin Williams, the chairman of Basketball Wales, known around the country for being one of the good guys of the game and doing whatever it takes for the tournament to be successful.
Absolutely. Now we can continue with the game with Roberts at the line. Doesn't quite get the first one to go off the left iron. Roberts a very talented player. You've seen him inside and outside scoring. Can he make his second free throw? Silence in the arena. Gets his second one to go, extends the lead again for England to 19. Here's Shellard, handing the ball with pressure. Irvine finds Lloyd. Lloyd to Morgan. Back to Lloyd, jab step, middle drive. Floater is up and in, and 1 for Dylan Lloyd.
Excellent finish there, the jab step and rip through drive middle. And to, again, we talked about him playing off balance before when he had the turnover. This time, a little bit of rest, comes in and actually makes really good decision, controls his body nicely for the floater.
As Kakmakaya checks back into the game for England, gives Adoru a rest. And Lloyd back to the free throw line. Can he convert his and one in this last minute of this second quarter?
Yeah, it's an important moment here again for Wales. Can they finish the half strong? It makes a big difference to the mood in the locker room when you go in after a couple of buckets and a couple of stops. So, you know, they'll be looking to follow up that finish and free throw with a defensive stop here and maybe one more possession for a bucket.
You feel like England got let off lightly there, leaving Oliver Irvine after a few makes for the shooter. Open for three, can't quite get it to go. As we see Cooper checking back into the game, another St. Helens player. It's a Roger. Cooper, low post catch. Defended by Shellard. Roger cuts off him, dump off. Easy 2 points.
Yeah, that's tough. Played through the post nicely there. You know, the split move, feeding and cutting.
Lloyd, middle ball screen from Shellard. Offensive foul is called on Shellard. Moving screen, that's the second moving screen we've had from Wales in this first half.
Yeah, and this won't be how Wales want to finish the half, you know. You want to finish with a degree of positivity. Makes the coach's job much easier to pick them up when you're down by nearly 20 points coming in at the half. Now, obviously we know basketball's a game of runs, it's never over. But if you can finish the half with a little bit of momentum, so maybe a stop here would be a positive thing for Wales. They can get a quick score, just give them that little bit of extra energy in the halftime.
Gabriel Enriquez, checking into the game, guiding the ball, and Casiro Malpez stealing it away. And converting the two with the clock counting down to Young. Roger will not be able to get a shot off for England. Very interesting in Wales going small there to finish out the quarter, subbing out Lucas Shellard for Casiro Malpez, then he can steal the ball away and gets 2 points.
Yeah, and you see Malpez there obviously gets an energy play to finish the half, gets the layup, the whole bench is up cheering, just changes the vibe going into the locker room now. Obviously keeps the score a little bit closer at 17, I think it is, and if my maths is correct, but the Welsh coaches will just take a little bit of time now to think about how they get back into this game. You know, really important now how the Welsh players recover. How we start the third quarter is going to be critical as we watch some of the highlights from the first half here.
And a big second quarter on the scoring side for England. Improvements from the Wales side as well, but on defense allowing England 26 points that second quarter. We know they're a very talented team as we're seeing some of this highlights. That was that big three by Casiro Malpez. He's been an impact player. Roger's had a very good game as well.
And there's two parts to that. The first part is England made their three-point shots in the second quarter that they were missing in the first. And the second thing is in the first quarter when England attacked the paint, they were putting up contested shots. In the second quarter, they're finding little dump-off passes to either the post player or cutters, and meaning that it's harder to contest those shots than it is the 1v1s. So nice adjustment from England to get their offense going. But as you say, Wales scoring better in that second quarter as well. So that should give them some confidence for the referees, for the coaches going into the halftime.
As you're seeing the rest of the highlights, we're just getting an interview sorted out by one of these referees, having the privilege here to referee a competition like this internationally. Seeing the dunk throw down by Vandoko. Is tee up. Okay, we are joined by one of these referees joining us here at the Basketball Wales Four Nations here in Cardiff. Firstly, what is your name, and you are from Basketball England, I can see on your jersey. There's a word on the tournament as well.
My name is Max Kemp. Tournament's fantastic so far. Fantastic turnout from the crowd, supporters, teams. The energy is fantastic. Overall, the amount of support and just generally how much the players want to win and they want to do well is absolutely fantastic. So I can't complain at all.
Max, it's not often that a referee gets interviewed at halftime, so this is a new experience for you, but also a lot of development work going on across these 3 tournaments for our referees. We've talked about it on the commentary. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like from the referee perspective? You're around these FIBA referees who are giving you feedback, and how that's been for you as a up-and-coming referee.
So yeah, to have the opportunity to work with these FIBA referees and also instructors and supporters is such a fantastic opportunity. It timed really perfectly us in the off-season. We have a very long off-season in basketball, so it gives us the opportunity to stay focused, stay switched on, and be ready for the new season in September.
And just for me, like how the games are being refereed, they're up to that FIBA standard with some of the travel calls we're seeing a lot of physicality being allowed. Just a word on that, is that in the front of your mind when you're refereeing these games?
So we want to put a lot of emphasis on certain different things. At the end of the day, these tournaments are for us to sharpen up what we think might not have gone so well or what had gone well last season. So it's an opportunity for us to hone in on what we need to improve on individually and also what we need to improve on across the league as well also.
Awesome, thank you very much for joining us, Max.
You're welcome.
And enjoy the second half of this wonderful game of the last game of the tournament here in Cardiff.
Thank you.
So from us, we are going to have a quick break for halftime. We'll be back with the second half with myself and Donny. Join us then. throws it up and his put back. McAllister in the corner. Baseline drive floater is up and in. Beautiful move.
This game on next game. Can we add?
Chased back by Curran. Shellard goes to take off. Lays it over the rim.
Again,
Madoko to Qatar in the corner. Makes the free.
And I think that all starts with
drives. Defenders everywhere. Finds Roberts on the weak side for the free. And he knocks it down. Timeout is called by Wales. As we find Longhurst in the corner, 3 on the clock. Does he know? He does know. And he gets the basket as the buzzer
stops. Storm and find a way back into the game.
Castillo Mount has a well-needed free as he... Zidoru makes his free.
It's hard to guard a team that can kill you from the inside and the outside.
Here's Irvine open for free. Knocks down another one for him. Apologies. Roger. Back to Lloyd, jab step, middle drive. Floater is up and in, and one for Dylan Lloyd. Casiro Malpass sealing it away. And converting the 2 to Lloyd. He's a big scoring threat from inside and outside and nails the free. Dowu. Curran goes all the way, left hand. Roger to the rim, 2 points. Irvine at the top, side ball screen. That's exactly his shot and exactly what he can. Oliver Irvine. 3 points for
Wales this week, and the number of times you've got the 5 position.
Knocked away by Canate, and here is Bandoko.
Yeah, unlucky for Wales.
By Canate, and here is Bandoko.
Yeah, unlucky for Wales.
Pick and roll, finds Cooper. Beautiful finish with 1 second left on the shot clock. And here comes Seong. As we had Scotland versus Wales, girls and boys starting us off here in the tournament. Scotland doing the double over Wales, and then it moved on to the girls and the boys from Ireland taking on Wales, and they indeed did the double over Wales as well. That was in the Archers Arena yesterday. And moving on to today, earlier we had the silver medal match essentially from the girls, the Ireland girls edging out the Scottish girls, taking the silver medal home over the Irish Sea, and we are halfway through this last boys game of the weekend. England in a... You are joined by myself, Jacob Derman, by my side, Donny McDonald. Donny, what have you thought of this competition so far?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic competition. You know, the games have been competitive. There's been learning for all the teams. We've seen a good performance here from Wales in the early part of the first half. England pulled away. I caught up with the coaches there at half-time. You know, Coach Sterling saying turnovers hurt them a little bit and the rebounding, but he was happy with how his guys competed, especially early in the game. And from the England coaching staff, they were saying that the structures that they'd worked on in practice, the boys started executing it a little bit in the second quarter, and that's what led to the easier scores. So, you know, different perspectives from the coaching staffs at half-time.
Yeah, just looking at the stats from that half-time, 18 turnovers for Wales at the half, by only 11 for the England team. However, only 3 points off turnovers for England, which is quite interesting. I thought, as a jump ball is called.
Well, we talked about it in the first half. Wales really show a lot of spirit in transition defence. They get back, they contest, they make it difficult. What we maybe aren't seeing then is the second chance points that come off those first opportunities. England often sometimes missing the first shot, but getting the second one. I think they had 18 second chance points in the first half alone, which is you know, a high number, and something that Wales will want to address here in the second half.
Longhurst can't get it to go. But poked away by Casiro Malpass. Can he finish at the basket? Defended by Curran. England come away with it. Roberts is ahead. Can he add to his total? Not quite. Ball is loose. Bandoko comes up, shaken up from the play. Roberts leading scoring for England with 10 points at the half, and Dylan Lloyd, Wales talisman, 10 points himself at half-time.
Well, Wales really looked refreshed coming out here in the second half. You know, they looked a little bit fatigued at the end of the first half. They don't have the same depth of rotation that England do, but they've come out looking like they've re-energised in the half-time and ready to give a good bash at getting back into this game.
Absolutely, you mentioned the bench points there. 21 bench points for this England team, whereas only 5 from this Wales team. As Curran throws up the flow, so can't get it. So Mandoko seals it away. Up and in for the and one basket. He will go to the line for one.
The one thing you can't really do when you're playing against the athleticism of England is throw long floating passes, because they're so quick in the passing lanes. They're so long that they're going to turn those steals into fast break opportunities, and then obviously in this situation they get the offensive rebound, and here we go to the free throw line.
Here is the England captain, then Daniel Vanjoko for free throw, converts his 3-point play, and it came out in this zone press, Donny. Yeah,
obviously something that England want to work on, come out with a tactical adjustment in the defense in the second half. Just, you know, Wales did a good job of creating out a transition in the first half, so this zone press, they're not looking to trap, they're just looking to delay, slow Wales down and turn it into a 5v5 structured game where England maybe feel that they have the advantage.
Roger wanting to get on with the game quickly. Referee says slow down as Curran comes the other way now. Poked away by Lloyd. Roberts gathers. Roger, Vandoko steps out of bounds on the line, and we'll get a substitution for this England team. Vandoko will take a break. The England captain, Tar, subbing back into the game. First time we've seen him in the second half. Here's Longhurst trying to figure out this press.
Like I say, the press is designed to slow Wales down, so it's doing its job perfectly there.
Definitely did. As loose ball, Casero Malpass finds it. Comes away out to Miller. Longhurst for free off the front iron. Oliver Irvine. Longhurst up, lots of contact, go to the line. Nice aggressive offense from Miller Longhurst.
Yeah, attack the ball moving, and you know, in current basketball, everyone talks about, is it a travel, is it not a travel? Well, basically, if you receive the ball moving, it's really difficult for the referees to call a travel now, and he did that on the cut there, and gives himself the opportunity to go to the line. That receiving the ball that quickly, moving downhill, also makes it hard for the defense to rotate and be in position. So, really strong move there from Longhurst.
Yeah, Longhurst out of the Bath and Whitecliffe programs. Shout out to Coach Antonio Wilburn, his under-16s Wales coach from last year. Now putting in the work at Bath with Miller Longhurst. And Longhurst comes up with the steal. Here come Wales. England doing a good job in transition, slow in the fast break. Cyril Malpass dribbling it into traffic. Longhurst owning the corner for free, and he knocks it down.
And Longhurst only went 1 for 5 in the first half, so getting him going early on will be important. He's an important player on the offensive end and the defensive end for Wales.
Absolutely, some great size for a point guard for this Wales team. And we have a foul on the play, I think, on the rebound. Referee Max that we spoke to at half-time called in push on the rebound, baseline out of bounds for England. Roger will pass it in. And there's Longhurst again.
You found me wide open there, Jacob.
That'll be trouble for this Wales team, leaving you open.
This
Donny.
is my spot right here.
Anywhere over the half.
It's sitting on the bench, more likely.
Here's Curran. Screen by Adowu. Curran with the mismatch. Roger driving in, converting 2 more points.
Really nice body control, finishing off 2 feet there.
Daniel Roger, the London Thunder man. Here's Longhurst, downhill on Roberts. Gives it to Lloyd. Lloyd thinks about the shot, doesn't go with it. Gives it back to Miller Longhurst. Longhurst drops off Shellout. Irvine open on the left side wing. Bang!
Irvine had really good balance there. The extra pass found him in rhythm, and he's got a nice quick release.
Yeah, beautiful technique on that jump shot. I know his coach Dom is in the crowd, the St. Helens coach and Carmel coach. Here's Curran. Can he hit back on the free? Of course he can.
Plays with such control, Tristan Curran. You know, comes off the ball screen, the defense goes under, and he just sets his feet and fires a three.
Ciro Malpas driving, tipped away. Wales will keep possession of the ball as Jamal McAllister, the Sussex Storm man, will check back in. Reece Iolo will come in for Wales. Ciro Malpas, well-earned break. Irvine coming across, same spot. Is it the same result? Of course it is.
And now he's got confidence. That last one, he had space, managed to get into his rhythm easier. Now, even contested, he's got confidence because he's made the last shot.
So back-to-back threes for Oliver Irvine, the St. Helens man. Here's Roberts. Can he answer back? He can't. Qatar comes up with it, but he's out of bounds. Wales enjoying a little bit of momentum now. Banjoko, David Banjoko subbing into the game. First time this second half. Are we going to see this zone press again by England?
And I think Wales now need to try and find Owen Irvine as many times as they can. He's shooting with such good rhythm.
Absolutely, and here he is. Oliver Irvine finds Lloyd, the top scorer currently for this Wales team. Backdoor cut, Miller Longhurst up and in. There we go, you can see a timeout call from Lewis Scott. Celebrations for the Wales team. You can see the scoring load now being taken completely off Dylan Lloyd's shoulders.
No, we see Wales now really sharing the ball. You've got Longhurst scoring on the inside. You've got Irvine scoring on the outside. The energy in the building starting to lift as the home team starts to get on a run, and it's a smart timeout by the England coaching staff.
Absolutely.
And by Lewis there.
Absolutely. We had almost 20-point lead from England, shredded down to just 13 from this Wales team. And what Coach Sterling Massachusetts will be saying, more of the same. Do not let this timeout disrupt our momentum, as he sends his player out super early from this timeout. Coach Lewis Scott, as you can see in this huddle, drawing up some structure for his players to work with. It will be their ball.
What's been really obvious over the weekend is a really good connection in this Welsh team. They play with great energy. You see them talking to each other just now. You know, you've got player leadership there. They all want to play for the jersey and represent Wales to the best of their ability. So, you know, they've had a tough couple of games against Scotland and Wales, but they've competed right to the end in both those games, and I don't expect to see anything different now against England.
Of course, and the Wales boys have been out for a considerable amount of time talking within themselves, not letting that momentum drop. As England,
be interesting to see here. It was an England timeout. Have Wales come out in a zone? It looks like they're setting up in a 2-3. Something that's quite common, you know. One team calls timeout, and for the first possession out of the timeout, the opposition comes in with a difference, maybe run the zone. So what will be interesting to see, is this a one-off? Are they just showing it to get England thinking, or is this something they're going to go to for an extended period? Because they've been getting success with their man-to-man defense so far.
McAllister on the weak side. There's Vanoko. McAllister now open for three. Of course he makes it, stops that Wales run, silences the crowd here in the Cardiff Archers Arena.
And you might say get out of the zone there, but it's a contested three-point shot. It's, you know, it's a tough shot to make.
Longhurst looking for Sheridan inside, gives it to Irvine. Double teamed Irvine. Longhurst up and out. McAllister comes all the way behind the back, spinning, giving it to Curran. Back to McAllister, just made one, now he's drived.
And Wales back to the man-to-man defense straight away after that one possession in the zone.
McAllister looks for the back-to-back three, can't get it to go. Referee says England ball. And it's interesting, Oliver Irvine doubled on the catch on offense.
Yeah, clearly an emphasis point out of the timeout from England. You know, you don't want a shooter like that to get open.
Of course, Admir Longhurst wrestles the ball to the floor. His team is up on the bench. Jump ball is called. England will keep possession though.
That's great hustle from the Welsh captain there. You know, and again, the bench are into it now. The crowd's into it. All the energy in the game right now seems to be with the Welsh team.
Yeah, looking just like the Wales rugby team there on the floor, rocking over as England will keep possession. Substitutions, Curran and Adowu checking out. Kakmakaya and Bokowski coming into the game for England. Gavin Williams again, what a great servant to the game, doing everything for everyone.
It's been quite humid down here in Cardiff this weekend. You know, we're getting a proper European experience. You know, the heat and humidity in the halls has been something that the players and staff have had to cope with as well. So I don't know if you planned that down here in Wales, but it certainly added to the experience.
Replicated the European Championships as best as we could down here in Cardiff. As a shot clock violation, Coach Scott not happy with his team. They had plenty of time whilst the sweat was being mopped up to discuss what they were going to do, and someone in the team not on the same page.
But no, it's been really interesting to see Wales have come out with a fresh energy in this start of the second half. Can they extend this strong spell through and cut into the England lead a little bit more?
Here's Lloyd spinning, bodies everywhere, spins it back on himself, foul, nearly gets the and one.
We saw it in the first half, and we're seeing it again with Lloyd. When he stops on 2 feet in the paint, he's got great balance. He can pivot, he can spin, and he'll find a way to either score or draw the foul.
Very crafty player, Dylan Lloyd, out of the Bristol Flyers Academy. Can't get the first free throw to go. Like I said last year at the Under-16s tournament in Ireland, top scorer in the whole tournament. Lloyd sets and can't get the second one to go either. Here is McAllister. Makaya, extra pass, gets it back. Drops off of Landoko. Bobkowski, lots of contact, no whistle. Offensive rebound by England again. Roberts this time put it in for 2.
Really good contest by Wales on the first shot, but England, just like in the first half and in the first 2 games, the offensive rebounds really paying off for them.
Here's McAllister. Kat Makaya mishandles and falls out of bounds. We will see Miller Longhurst coming straight back into this game. Referee Max stamping his passport, allowing him into.
If we look at the game right now, it's what, a 16-point lead for England, but 23 second chance points for England. This is really the difference maker in the game so far.
Absolutely, and we were saying that Wales have some good size. It's disappointing if you're a Wales persuasion, giving up so many second chance points. That is the difference in this game currently, as Lloyd asks for a screen from Boland, rejects the screen, stops, hops, pops, and travels.
I think one of the things with rebounding, if you're playing against a team as athletic as England, you know, their jumping ability, their speed, they're so hard to box out. You know, when they go that hard and that fast, it's hard for the Welsh teams to get a body on them, and then the jumping ability gives them an advantage. So, you know, it's hard to kind of downplay just how much that athleticism for England's really helping.
Bobkowski on the offensive rebound, put back for 2, and that's what we are talking about. One player falls asleep, forgets to do his job. Even a guard can swoop in for that offensive rebound with their athleticism.
And unfortunately against England, you don't even have to fall asleep. They're so quick that you could be doing your job, but they're tough to get a body on, and that's proving difficult. But now Longhurst getting to the rim again.
He's happy with that one. Miller Longhurst, tough move behind the back, converts that and 1, sends him to the line.
You know, what's great to see is that spirit from the Welsh bench. Everybody up off their feet. You might not see it in shot, but the entire team up off their feet cheering. Longhurst punching the air as he gets the call. These are things. I've now been to 7 European Championships over my time. I'm going to an 8th this summer. And when I speak to players that have been with me in the past, you don't remember the games as much as you remember these memories on the bench, in the locker room, on the bus, in the hotel. So, you know, these memories for these young men here, young ladies that are playing earlier on, that's as big as the game. You know, the results are huge, obviously, but these guys are going to remember the memory of being a team, competing together for the rest of their lives.
And you're going to hear the celebrations from the Wales team, silence this time by Roberts.
That's a tough shot by Roberts, but really good elevation on the jump shot to find his balance in the air.
And again, As Bolam can't get it to go under the basket.
He'll be kicking himself there, who's wide open.
Yeah, the big man can't get it to go. Here's McAllister. Bob Brokowski. Roberts gets it to go, falls on the floor, but referee calls a foul before the shot. On the rebound, it looks like to me. Holding. Good call by the referee. Roberts confused, not happy with it.
Yeah, I think fatigue just starting to show a little bit there. That we talked about in the first half, that England are rotating their guys. Nobody's played more than, Curran at 16 minutes is the biggest. Whereas on the Welsh team, you've got a few guys. You've got Lloyd at 25 minutes, Longhurst 21, Irvine 21 minutes. So they're playing extended minutes in the Welsh team, whereas England are able to stay fresh and rotate through the depth of their 12.
As Coach Massachusetts in the break of play asking for our team huddle.
You've actually got 4 players for Wales who are at 21 minutes or more of the what we played. 27 minutes we've played so far. So those guys, Lloyd, Irvine, Longhurst, Shellard, are really carrying a heavy load right now. To their credit, they're fighting hard right to the end of this third quarter. Be interesting to see, can they continue to give this energy right through the last quarter.
As Bolam actually picked up his 4th foul in that possession, so he's on the bench now. Irvine comes away with the ball. Will Morgan back in the game. Throws it away. Here's Shellard receiving the loose ball. 5-on-4 for Wales. Morgan hesitates. Finds Shellard, finds Irvine. Canate. Canate spins back. Tough move from the young fella.
Again, really good body control, going in against taller players, taking the ball down in the air, protecting it and getting a really soft finish.
Absolutely, amongst the trees there, Canate. Again, 1 to go. And England throw the ball away. Look at that, Wales bench up on their feet.
Yeah, the connection of this team has been really impressive all through the tournament. The coaching staff will be delighted with that. Building chemistry in a team is not an easy thing to do, and they've done that really well with this Welsh group.
It's really good to see on an FA, the Welsh wall behind the bench. GB under-18s player. How he's enjoying this game. The performance showed. He goes to take off and punches it home.
Emphatic finish there from Bobkowski.
That was an incredible play by a guard that just took off really. At this young age, it's very exciting to have a player like that on the court. And here come England again. Jamal throws a lob. Mandoko can't quite finish it. His brother catches the offensive rebound.
England really turning the screw now from an energy perspective on the defensive end, and the speed they're getting out in transitions hurting Wales.
Absolutely, this is how they want to play. They want to play fast, up-tempoed, highlight plays, basketball. With all their athleticism they got. Canate gets an offensive rebound here. Miller Longhurst, second shot opportunity, converts it as to his total.
Credit to all these guys. The pace they're playing with here. This is the 3rd game in 2 days for these guys. And they're playing with pace, they're playing with contact, they're playing with energy. People at home might not realize just how tired they're going to be feeling. And for those parents of these guys coming back home this weekend, they're probably going to need a sleep for about a week after this.
Absolutely. Bandoko trying on the other end to punch another one home over Shellard. Couldn't quite let it go. Time running out here. Shellard gets the steal on the buzzer, and that will end our third quarter. The score is 45-62 to England. 10 minutes left of this one, and it's been very exciting, especially towards the end of that third quarter. England really turning the screw, like you said, Donny.
Well, 19-19 for the quarter. The Welsh coaching staff will be really happy with that. their highest scoring quarter of the game so far, and you know, keeping England under 20. You're always happy if you keep a team under 20, particularly when they've got the depth of scoring prowess that England do. But no, the challenge now for Wales is can they maintain this, and can they close the gap a little bit more in the fourth quarter, given, you know, they're playing 4 guys a lot of minutes. They're putting in exceptional performances, but fatigue's got to kick in at some point, whereas for England, a lot of fresh legs, as we see here on the replays. Their ability to jump and get to the rim with that freshness is been a key to the game. And something you mentioned, Jacob, there, obviously you've got one of the Welsh players who's going to the GB under-18 squad. We're getting to that stage of the summer. I know that the under-18 women are away currently in their prep. The under-20s started last week. The under-18 start on Monday. Under-18 men start on Monday. It's going to be a busy summer of GB basketball with players from Scotland, England, Wales all out representing Great Britain at the under-20s, under-18s and under-16 European Championship for men and women. And you know, hopefully everyone back home is getting an opportunity to watch all these games and see these young players progressing as they come through from under-14s at the home nations to the now under-15s tournament, under-17s tournament, and then they move on and play for GB at the European Championships. So the building blocks for GB have been growing for a number of years now, and we're starting to get to a really strong place.
Absolutely, and this is just part of that whole process here, and we're happy to play our part. This is an incredible opportunity for these players to sharpen their tools. Looking forward to making GB teams in the future. This England team, very, very talented and athletic, but also the Wales team matching it in that quarter. What will we see in the final 10 minutes of the boys competition here in the 2025 Under-17s Four Nations tournament in the Archers Arena, Cardiff? We are slightly delayed by the start of this quarter for an unknown reason, something to do with the table.
Looks like we have a scoreboard issue.
Slight scoreboard issue in the arena. And this just gives us a chance to talk about that scoring load shared on the England team. You can just see almost everyone in the team is on the scoreboard, but there's 10, 14, 8, 5, 4, 6, 7. Just shared the load incredibly well with this England scoring team.
But equally with Wales, you know, 3 players in double digits, they're all contributing well. Everyone, you know, accepting their role. Not the way Wales would have wanted to started the final quarter, though, England getting an easy breakaway.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, the 4 main guys for Wales all on the floor right now. Shellard, Irvine, Longhurst, Lloyd. And here is Irvine for the transition 3, can't get it to go. Doko throwing it to his brother. Here's Wokowski. Doko in the corner. McAllister driving left right, baseline drive, blocked by Shellard. Here come Wales.
We've seen this from Shellard. His ability to contest shots has been very important for Wales throughout the game.
Miller Longhurst driving the ball. Here is Shellard. Can he take off? Pump face up and under move. Not quite getting it to go. Bobkowski, another athletic move to the rim. Draws the foul. Will head to the line. Very frantic few minutes there by both teams. Yeah,
and I think this is smart by England. I recognise that the Welsh team have got 4 guys who've played most of the game and now get up and down in transition. As you see Bokowski getting to the rim there and drawing the foul. It's really hard to play defense in particular when you're fatigued. So attack them with pace and you might draw the fouls. So this is going to be key now for Wales. Can they continue to defend without fouling?
As we said about Lucas Shellard blocking the ball, that he is going to take a break, and Wales look to go small. Lucas Malpass back into the game, and the tallest player in the lineup is point guard Miller Longhurst. Maybe trying to match the speed of this England transition. Here's Bobkowski, can he make the second shot? Rims out, Irvine comes away with the ball.
I think this is smart from Coach Sterling. Try something different. You know, don't try and match England at what they do. They've gone a bit bigger, so we go a bit smaller, and then they get the scoring out of it.
There is Morgan converting on the mid-range jump shot. Irvine deciding not to shoot the semi-open free. I'd put my money on him making those kind of shots. Here is Bukowski. Miller, Longhurst again on the defensive end. Cooper comes up with it. Banjoko with the slam. Daniel Banjoko this time.
That's really unlucky. Malpass just turned his back, and Longhurst was in the air jumping out of bounds. But good hustle again there from Longhurst going after the loose ball. It just falls to an England player and ends up in an easy score.
England showing the man-to-man press here. Morgan flashes to the middle. Very loopy pass. Ends up in the hand of England. Brokowski looking for Cooper, out of bounds.
Yeah, the length and athleticism of England, you can't throw those looping passes. They're going to come and deflect or steal them. So Wales really need to just tighten up how they're breaking this man press off the baseline out of bounds.
The same as what we said earlier in the girls' game. It's really hard to throw a pass over a taller defender to a smaller teammate. And obviously with Wales going small, it could be tricky to do. Referee Max is having a word with coach to talk to the bench to solve some, I guess, noise complaints. McAllister on the left side wing. Brokowski in the corner. Back to McAllister, open for free, decides not to use it. Cooper inside, blocked away by Longhurst and Irvine.
Yeah, doubling up there to combine and make the shot much more difficult.
You see that replay. Irvine getting a slight touch on the ball, and Longhurst blocking it all the way out of bounds like a volleyball player. Here is Brokowski, Banjoko, McAllister driving the ball. Brokowski in the corner, 3 on the clock, 2, 1, up and out. Banjoko tries to put back dunk, doesn't get it to go, back in the hands of England. Nice passing by the Banjoko brothers, finds McAllister.
Yeah, the ball movement there from England was exceptional to find the open player. It could have been an easy layup for Bandoko, but made the pass to his teammate cutting from the weak side. Bandoko
shaken up on the play, finds Brokowski, full transition, asking for a substitute, taking a tumble, thinking he's hurt his knee on the impact there. Referees are going to allow the game to play on. He is not in the way of play.
It seems a bit unfair to the average watcher, but it's the rules. The referees can only enforce the rules.
Absolutely. They're not going to stop the game until he is affecting the play. He's in the way of the play. So he actually stopped the England transition there with Tiong coming into the game. We've got some great size. The St. Helens man.
The thing you really need to do in that situation, if you're going to go down, you've got to go down when your own team's got the possession. Going down when the other team's got possession, you know, what they're supposed to do. The rules of the game say continue the play. Otherwise, you know, players would be sitting down all the time to take away transition plays. So, I'm not saying that that's what England were doing, but they're certainly, you know, in the high-stakes game of basketball, if that's the rule, then people would exploit it to their advantage. So the referees can only call the game the way the rules apply.
Absolutely, even knowing those little 1% can make all the difference in close games. Here is Wales knocking the ball away from Bukowski. Longhurst with the ball now. Finds Shallard. Whips the pass to the corner. Casiro Malpass, pump fake. And a turnover called. Couldn't quite see what the referee said. Double dribble or stepping out of bounds.
I think he stepped on the baseline, on the sideline, sorry. Really tough down there. Went on against the contest. To lower your centre of gravity, the natural thing to do is to step back. And with no space on the sideline, it just means a turnover for Wales.
And here is Jeb Kanate checking back into the game for Casiro Malpass. Banjoko decides to drive, finds Cooper, short floater is good.
Really nice touch there, but I suppose the difference is early in the game he was feeling contact a little bit more. Shellard probably a little bit more fatigued now. The contact really takes it out of you. So interesting to see here they tapped the backboard, are they?
They haven't been calling goaltending calls on any backboard touches this tournament. I'm sure that's another thing the referees have been focused on.
So just the 2 shots.
Yep, Oliver Irvine and Lorraine being aggressive, drawing the contact for the layup. As you can see in the background, Daniel Ujoko working with the athletic trainer after that knock shaken up on the play, subbed out.
Good to see him up and moving around freely again.
Irvine knocks down the second of his 2 free throws. Here's Brokowski. Banjoko. David Banjoko. Gets it back. Brokowski. Tiong. Oh, we're seeing this 2-3 zone again by Wales here. McAllister drives through the middle of it. Up and out. Rebounded by Longhurst. Ahead to Lloyd. Brokowski. 4 England shirts back on Lloyd. Great hustle by the England guys. Into the half-court. Shallard, can he take off? He tries to. It's out, unfortunately, by Shallard there.
Yeah, Cooper with a contest made it a little bit more difficult for Shallard there.
Banjoko in the corner. Tiong. McAllister. Cooper, high post catch. Finds Banjoko in the corner. Does he step out of bounds? Referee says yes, he did.
Interestingly, on that sideline out of bounds again, the guy stepping out. I heard an Australian coach talking about, a Canadian coach talking about the Iran statistics on this at international basketball, and 50% of the time you close out hard on a corner shooter, the guy steps out of bounds. So it shows it's a really common occurrence, and from the defensive perspective, making that hard close out, the natural reaction for the offensive player is to step backwards, and he steps out of bounds. So. Yeah, good defense from Wales.
Absolutely, and now obviously we've seen the replays there. Miller Longhurst and Oliver Irvine up to 13 points apiece, helping Dylan Lloyd on the scoring load. As we have the leaders from the England team, Roberts leading the way with 14 for the game. Roger on 10, Brokowski on 10, McAllister 9. And they're real strong players.
Yeah, and for Roberts, it's a double-double of 14 points, 14 rebounds. Very impressive numbers. Irvine 13. Misread the stats there. Roberts 7 rebounds and 14 points.
Still very impressive by the Myerscough man. I'm sure Coach Lewis Scott of Myerscough himself is very happy with his player.
Well, particularly in the minutes he's played. You know, if we look at the minutes there for Roberts.
Only 17.5 minutes, 14.7 rebounds. Very impressive. As I was saying earlier, he got the MVP in the finals of the Under-19s Dynamic Schools competition in March against my own JMA Reading Rockets.
It's not still salty about it, I take it.
No, but he's been an outstanding player today. In the, like you said, limited minutes, outstanding performance. And you see Roger coming back into the game for England. Here is Irvine. Dylan Lloyd led to scoring at halftime with 10. Has not scored as of yet in this second half. Can Wales look to get him the ball as he gets it now? Just closely defended by Banjoko. Comes through the lane, and as I say it, can't quite get it to go. Double team under the basket for Lloyd. England come away with the ball. Two free zones. It's man-to-man, sorry, defense by Wales. Open three in the corner, can't get it to go. Here is Lloyd. Canate on his right side. Players running back from England, blocking it away. Foul on the play. A delayed, patient whistle there.
And good job by Lloyd. Reading the defense, he looked up, he had a look around him, he had no teammates with him, and he took it to the rim, protected it with his body, draws the foul.
As we say, can Lloyd open his account for the second half of this game? Still no luck.
What is obvious right now is the England team getting back in transition. Early in the game, Wales were getting a good number of their shots in transition and scoring them, and now England getting back and contesting. Not just one player, but in that situation, he had 3 guys chasing him down.
Absolutely. Here's Tiong going through the lane, tries to drop it off to Cooper, does not manage it. Here's Irvine. Lots of pressure from the England boys. Gives it back to Irvine from Shallard. A deep three from Irvine, in and out. That's the confidence we like to see from him, though. Beautiful form on that shot release.
Yeah, and really efficient shooting technique. Doesn't take a lot of time to get it off.
T. Young, his teammate at Carmel College though, scoring for England.
Fantastic atmosphere still here in the Archers Arena. The Welsh supporters giving encouragement to these guys. They've played their hearts out all weekend. You know, a big part of the tournament is for the supporters. We saw a big travelling support 2 weeks ago up in Scotland of Welsh, English, Irish support. It's been the same this weekend here, as it was in Manchester at the start of the month. You know, it's great that we have live streams, but it's even better that we have so many people prepared to travel and support their boys and girls live in the arena.
Absolutely, yes. Banjoko tries another slam, not getting it quite to go, but Cooper cleans up the offense for England. Another 2 points, extends the lead to 28 for England. Here's Longhurst finding Shallard. Short corner area, dribbling, finds Irvine, looks at the rim, decides not to shoot. Against his teammate. Lloyd running out of time, and that's so frustrating for Lloyd. Nearly opening this count for the second half.
Yeah, England doing a good job of containing the dribble there, forcing Wales to dribble and take time off the clock as we go to a timeout.
Absolutely, Coach Massachusetts calling timeout for his Wales team, wanting to talk it over. As we're seeing again, he's straight in there. Coach Lewis Scott discussing with his assistant coaches a couple bits of information whilst allowing the England team boys to self-reflect.
No, absolutely. I think it's important that they get a chance to get water on board. We talked about it earlier. It's quite humid down here, and the guys will be getting dehydrated. So a chance for them to drink some water before he comes in with the instructions. It's a really critical period here for Wales. You know, they want to not let England get away anymore. The score is probably not a fair reflection. It feels closer than the score represents. But they certainly don't want England to extend any further away than they already are.
Absolutely, and over the course of the game, it's a game of runs, and like we said, Wales had a brilliant quarter last quarter, keeping it 19-19, but however, this quarter so far, 3 points to Wales, 14 points to England, and that is probably why the scoreboard is being extended in the favour of the England team.
Yeah, and you've got 4 Welsh players over 31 minutes right now, so you know, fatigue's normal. Maybe see if the coaches can get them a little bit more rest here to finish the game.
Absolutely, and that's as we look to the Wales bench, Salad and Longhurst taking the seats. Makaya inside to Cooper, drops off to Qatar. Qatar in the middle, finds Cooper again. Baseline drive, drops off to T. Young. 4 on the clock. Has to rush, step back. Mid-range jump shot does not fall. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, didn't touch the rim there, just the backboard. Yeah, you know, good contest on the step back 3-point shot. It's a difficult shot to make.
Absolutely. Here we go. Gabriel Enriquez back in the game, handling the ball for Wales. Between the legs on the halfway line, defended by Roger. Here's Irvine, defended by his fellow teammate at Carmel College, Tion. Zela in the corner. Bolam, 6 on the clock. Wales need to find the shot. Zela, 3 on the clock. Goes to the rim. Stepping out of bounds as the shot clock expires. Turnover for the Wales team. Not happy on the play.
Yeah, England just containing the ball really well there. No easy passes, and when the player puts the Welsh player puts the dribble down, there's nowhere to go.
Absolutely. Look out, Makaya finds T. Young. A beautiful move by T. Young. Uses his length to his advantage, finishing at the rim.
Yeah, nice footwork to get to the rim and a nice soft touch.
Here is Irvine, got it by Guitar. Bounce passes it to Lloyd at the top. Back to Irvine. Lloyd, 6 on the clock. Jab set freezes his defender, 2 on the clock. Can he get it off? No, Wales cannot get another shot. Brilliant defense the last few possessions by this England team, just smothering the Wales offensive opportunities.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of just taking time off the clock. You know, forcing another pass, and then on the catch, forcing another dribble, making it really difficult for Wales to get any easy early looks.
Some substitutions made by Coach Sterling Machets. Miller Longhurst coming back into the game with William Morgan. Kakmakaya.
Moving now in the zone defense just to conserve a bit of energy towards the end of the game.
Roje setting the screen. Ball swings across. Kakmakaya got some good size at the top. Handling the ball, crossing over between the legs. Running to Young, baseline drive from the corner. Roje, 3 on the clock, 2, 1. Oh, steps through. Beautiful move with the left-hand floater. And finishing with 2 points.
You know, that's an energy killer there for Wales. They've played 23 seconds of great defence. Nothing easy for England. And then a finish right in the last second, especially given that they just had 2 24-second violations against them.
Absolutely.
But credit to both teams. We're late in the game. There's a big gap. Both teams are still playing really tough defence, not wanting to let the opposition get anything easy.
And as we say that again, nothing easy from this England defense as we're involved in the play again. Another turnover from this Wales offense. England defense just doing an incredible job down the stretch for the final few minutes of this game. Timeout has been called. Coach Lewis Scott asking where the ball will be to put his whiteboard pen into use.
Yeah, I think we can't forget that it's another learning opportunity for these players. You might say up 30, just, you know, you don't need to use the timeout, but it's an important learning moment for these players. End of a game, can you, when you're tired, take on board the instructions from the coach on the coaching board and execute a play? So it'll be interesting to see here what England draw up and how they execute it. Also interesting to see, do Wales stay with the zone or do they go back to the man-to-man defense that had been effective for them earlier in the game?
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, it's a very important skill, being able to take on information, downloading it, and then trying to execute what the coach wants to see on the floor. And doing it fatigue does make it that bit harder.
Yeah, it's let's never forget, this is a youth tournament. They're here to learn. They're here to get new experiences, try new things. Okay, the results have gone. Looks like it's going in England's favour this game, but you know, from a Welsh perspective, can we get another stop? Is that going to help us going forward next year? You know, from a Welsh perspective, they want to see as many Welsh players in GB jerseys as they possibly can in the future. From an England perspective, obviously the size of population, as you would expect, the majority of GB players have come from there. But for the smaller nations, Wales, Scotland, it's really important to learn from these tournaments and give yourself the best opportunity for next year's European Championships.
Absolutely, as here's Cooper, inbound to Roje. Wales showing that 2-3 zone again out of the timeout. Will that affect what Coach Lewis Scott drew up out of the timeout? Here's Roje, pass inside to Cooper. Wales' hands are everywhere. Jump ball called with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
That's a nice adjustment from Coach Sterling there, you know, extending the zone up to the halfway line. England probably expecting them to be a bit more conservative at the 3-point line, but they extend all the way up to the half and just take them away from the spacing that England wanted for their out-of-bounds play.
This time England do know about the time left on the shot clock. Roje throws up the prayer, does not go. Wales ball out of bounds on the baseline. And we're seeing the zone, man-to-man press here from the England boys. Kakmakaya, good size, the Manchester Magic guy. Guarding Longhurst, comes all the way through the lane, can't get it to go. Qatar comes away with it. Kakmakaya. Roje under pressure from Longhurst. Longhurst is all over on defense, playing defense without fouling. 6 seconds left on the clock. What can Qatar do? Roje does not get the ball off in time, even if it goes in. Basket will not count.
And we see Longhurst punching the air there. You know, the guy's playing, what, 33 minutes of this game, and here he is, the final minute, giving everything on the defensive possession. You know, he started that as the captain of the team. He set the tone, and then his teammates followed up. But Wales dribbled the ball out.
And that is the stamp that Wales would like to see, finishing the game strong from Miller Longhurst. As applause erupts around the arena, flows as that game is finished. 32-point win by England very impressive performance as well by Wales. Like I said, and you said, Donny, maybe a slightly unfair result reflection of the game.
Well, I mean, obviously scoring is a big part of the game, and England have done that really well. But I think Wales did a really good job of limiting England. Their defence was strong all game. They didn't give up. You said it there right at the last possession. England just having a bit more depth in the scoring perspective and able to stretch it out. But, you know, Wales competed. England won't feel like that was a 32-point game. They had to work for everything all that game. And, you know, a really strong performance from Wales to finish the summer of basketball here in Britain in front of their home fans.
Of course, and as we're watching some highlights of that game, Ollie Irvine nailing one of his many threes he had that game. And there's lots of positives to take on both sides for England and for Wales. And this is brilliant learning opportunity for both teams to play in a competition like this. Obviously, eyeing up those GB 18 selections for next summer. Yeah, we spoke about it earlier on. This is the first time that the home nations tournaments have been 15s and 17s age groups, and you know, so this U17s tournament has been really interesting. Obviously, a lot of players are already away with GB teams, so for that group who are a year younger, just maybe on the periphery of things, it's been a great opportunity to see, can they step up and be a main guy on the team? Can they put their name in the hat for GB selection next year? You know, the GB program will have a combine trial event at some point in the next few months, and this tournament will provide the selection team with the information they need to find the potential GB players of the future. Of course, and as we've seen throughout the whole weekend, brilliant sportsmanship taking place, shaking hands, and even some hugs going on in the middle of the court there. Yeah, you've said it through the stream, Jacob. You know, a lot of these guys play with each other at the academy and the club level, so you know there's a lot of respect between these guys. As we see Irvine there with his teammate, you know, talking it up. So I'm sure they won't hear the end of it. You know, from the Welsh guys going back to the English clubs in the new season, they'll hear a little bit about this game, but it's all good. It's all fun for the guys. As we're moving on to the presentations, England deserving, earning their gold medals. I think Coach Lewis is making his way over to us. Absolutely, Abby. Lewis Scott. Coach Lewis Scott of Myerscough coming to talk to us. He doesn't seem too happy about it. Come and talk to us.
Right, just to react to folks, we're waiting for the girls to finish, and then we will do the presentation. And the medal ceremony to all our teams.
And we are joined by the England under-17s boys head coach Lewis Scott. Lewis, how was the game today?
Do you know what? I want to say credit to Wales first of all, because they really maybe had to take some time outs, change the rhythm of the game. Yeah, it was one of those games where I was like demanding more from the players in a different sense, like a few different defensive tactics that we threw in, a couple of different press looks just to get these guys upbeat a little bit. But you know, credit to Wales first of all, and then obviously the boys did a really good job responding at halftime. They pushed in transition, really listened on defense, and like to spread the ball and share the ball on offense. And then I was just really happy with like how we've spread the minutes over the tournament, never mind just today.
Absolutely, and 3 wins out of 3 for your team. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like last week, and then you can ask the other staff, they were like, oh, we might not be as good as we think, but no, we've done a really good job. The limited prep time, they've really looked after each other. The boys are a really tight-knit group, really well behaved, and yeah, it's just a great, like they've got the rewards, and it's nice to end the year as last year was under-17s before they hopefully move on to GB next year.
Well, Lewis, we've talked about just that through the stream about the fact this is the first year it's an under-17s tournament with a view to finding next year's GB under-18s team. What's your thoughts on the under-17 talent you've seen and the tournament as a whole?
I think it's quite, you know, it's quite good. Like the games are competitive. You know, I know like the score lines maybe don't quite reflect it in some of the games, but I think the games are competitive. There's, you know, definitely players across the nations that stand out. You know, Scotland did a really good job, have some really good, like, crafty players in terms of their guards. Obviously, the England team was good too, and Ireland and Wales, you know, Wales there, like, showing a really good account of themselves. So the talent is slowly growing, and hopefully it continues to be this way in the future.
You mentioned the Wales team there giving a good account for themselves and their nation. Just a quick word on this weekend as a whole. Obviously hosted in Cardiff Archers Arena, and great support we've seen, and lots of sportsmanship being taken place as well.
I mean, everyone gets on. There's no like animosity between anybody. It's really good that everyone's here for the right reasons. The fans are great, the parents are supporting, they're great, and a big thank you to Basketball Wales for organising the event, organising what court we're on, when we need to be, helping with washing the kits, all those kind of things. They go a long way, and nobody sees that what goes on in the background. So a big thank you to Basketball Wales as well.
And that is it. Thank you very much, Lewis Scott. Enjoy your presentation, collecting your gold medals from the Under-17s Four Nations tournament here in Cardiff. Congratulations.
Right, thanks, guys.
Oh my days. Thank you very much.
My answer's really all right.
Perfect. As now we move on to the presentations of.
We've got a little bit of time. The final game of the girls' competition is still finishing, so we're going to get coached Sterling from Wales.
Absolutely, and he has to be happy with the team's performance they showed out. Obviously, not happy with the result.
Hey Sterling, thanks for joining us. We spoke at halftime, and you were happy with how your boys were competing, and really across the whole weekend that was kind of the way it went. It felt like you had really good chemistry, really good team spirit amongst your group, so you've got to be really proud of that team.
Oh, absolutely proud. That's what we were just promoting throughout, just chemistry, camaraderie, and just being proud to play for Wales.
And you were obviously with the GB Under-16 men last year. You'll recognise a lot of these players over the course of this tournament from that experience. This is the first year of a U17 tournament. Have you seen growth and development in these guys over the course of the year?
Growth, development and confidence, absolutely. I think there's a couple Welsh boys that could be in that setup, whether they make it to the final GB12, you know, I think they should get that shot to do that.
And last question from us is, like, you gave a brilliant account for yourself that last game against England that we saw. As a word on the whole weekend from the boys, you've got to be proud of their performances.
You have to be, and it's about putting everything into perspective. You know, probably the best team at the tournament, the winners of the tournament, we played our best against. Now, if we had approached, you know, the other two games like that, you know, could we have been playing for 1 and 2? You know, nobody knows. But just to put yourself in that position, we should have done better yesterday. They're all new to it. They're all new to the physicality of international basketball, and Wales will be good. Wales will be good.
So getting better as the tournament went on. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Coach Sterling.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations on a good weekend, and enjoy the presentations.
Will do. Take care.
So that wraps it up for this weekend. The Under-17s Four Nations tournament, boys and girls competition. The England boys taking a victory, 3 out of 3, finishing off against Wales there, and they'll be collecting their gold medals shortly. And wrapping up today, the scores we had: Ireland and Scotland girls happening on the main court here at Archers Arena, followed by the boys competition, Wales versus England boys. England boys winning by 32 in that competition. And over in the sports hall, we had the Ireland versus Scotland boys. Ireland boys winning by 11 points there. And the final competition for the girls, England edging it out against Wales by a big margin of points in the sports hall. Congratulations to both England teams for winning 3 out of 3 games, both on the boys and the girls side of this Four Nations competition. Donny, you've got to say how impressive the England teams were, both on the boys and the girls side. So
yeah, obviously the depth of talent England have is impressive. You know, a lot of these their players are away with GB squads, be it 16s or 18s. They're going to They've taken big strides forward from last year. They've put in some impressive performances. I think the biggest thing for me over the course of the weekend is the spirit, not just in the teams. Each of the teams have had great chemistry, but between the teams. You know, the friendship between all the players of the different nations has been a joy to see, between the coaches, between the referees. And I've been lucky to be at all 3 tournaments and see, you know, that community of British basketball all coming together to put on some great tournaments with some fantastic support coming to join us at each of the tournaments.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the fans at home watching on the stream, and of course if you're here supporting, thank you very much if you're here over the course of the weekend. We are about to move on to the presentations. Ireland have already picked up their silver medals and they are on the way back across the Irish Sea. We have just finished this game here. England boys taking the win by 32 points against the Wales boys, and they will be collecting their gold medals in due course. The Scotland boys very happy and excited with their performances as well. They will be collecting their bronze medals. Thank you very, very much for joining myself. I've been Jacob Dearman, joined by Donny McDonald. Any last comments, Donny?
No, just thanks for having me. It's been a really great tournament, and a great thanks to Basketball Wales, and particularly Gav Williams here standing beside me for a fantastic tournament.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for watching. We are here in Cardiff, and we'll see you next time.